Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to reveal, right now. What I uncovered while preparing this message made me sit in absolute silence. I know exactly what you have been experiencing since the beginning of August 2026. You have felt a strange physical shift happening specifically around your head and your hair. The enemy is working overtime right now for one reason, and one reason only. He knows what happens the moment you understand this physical symptom. You did not find this message by accident today. Heaven orchestrated this divine appointment to give you the exact answer you have been crying out for. Let us talk about what is happening to your physical body. Your crown has been feeling incredibly heavy and tight lately. Maybe you have noticed your hair acting differently, feeling lifeless, or even shedding more than usual. You might be waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning with a strange tingling sensation at the top of your head. You look in the mirror and wonder if it is just stress or aging taking a toll on you. You are not imagining these physical changes, and you are definitely not just getting older. What you are feeling is entirely real. Your physical body is reacting to a massive shift in the spiritual atmosphere surrounding you. The last few weeks have probably felt incredibly isolating and exhausting for you. You walk into a room and conversations suddenly stop. People look at you differently, but they cannot explain exactly why they feel uncomfortable. You feel a low hum of intense energy pressing against your chest and your head all day long. The people you used to connect with feel distant and completely out of reach right now. It feels like you are carrying a massive weight that nobody else can see or even begin to understand. Most people would dismiss this as normal fatigue or changing seasonal allergies. But you know deep down in your spirit that something else is going on. Your hair and the crown of your head are not just ordinary physical features. Ancient spiritual traditions have always known that your hair acts as a literal extension of your nervous system. It is a biological and spiritual antenna designed to pick up vital frequencies from the invisible world around you. When heaven tries to download a new assignment into your spirit, your crown is the very first receptor to catch it. That is exactly why you are feeling this intense physical pressure and sensitivity right now. Your antenna is highly active, but it is picking up a massive amount of interference. The world is incredibly loud and chaotic, and it is scrambling your signal. The modern world is literally designed to suppress your natural spiritual reception. Chronic stress, endless digital screens, and daily survival mode routines are all working against your original design. They create a thick, energetic fog that blocks your crown from receiving clear signals from the universe. Every single year, this sacred frequency is pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your awareness. The world trains you to conform instead of creating and trusting your own divine intuition. So, when your physical antenna tries to wake up and recalibrate, it manifests as a heavy physical symptom. It feels exactly like exhaustion, deep brain fog, and unexplained physical pressure on your head. You actually felt this effortless connection perfectly when you were a small child. Brilliant ideas came to you easily, and you somehow knew things long before they ever happened. The entire world felt like it was completely on your side back then. That was your natural frequency, running at its absolute maximum genius capacity. And the rigid system has been trying to shut that down ever since you grew up and joined society. They do not want you to remember how incredibly powerful your intuition actually is, because a chosen one who is fully connected to their crown cannot be easily controlled or manipulated by anyone. Before we go any further into this revelation, I want to hold something very important in front of you, something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a clinical research laboratory. It won the highest scientific recognition available, and most chosen ones have never been told about it, because it explains exactly what is happening to your brain and your body right now. It explains the painful gap between the person you know yourself to be and the limited reality you are currently living. I will show you exactly what the scientific researchers found, but I cannot reveal the full truth to you just yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you without your consent. So, I want you to hold this specific question in your mind as we continue this journey together. What if this gap in your life is not a character flaw or a lack of personal faith? What if this suppression actually has a specific scientific name that no one ever mentioned? In the next few minutes, I am going to expose the one major lie keeping you trapped in this cycle. I will show you exactly why your crown is reacting this way. And at the very end, I will give you the powerful declaration that seals everything. Do not click away. If you leave before the end, you walk away from the very thing heaven deposited in you. But let me reframe your entire reality right now. You have been looking at your reflection and believing a terrible lie. That physical exhaustion and the sudden changes to your hair are not the signs of normal aging. You have not been aging at all. You have been molting. Your body is simply shedding an old version of you that no longer fits the massive spiritual assignment on your life. The heavy pressure you feel at the top of your head is not just daily stress. It is your spiritual receiver desperately trying to come back online. God did not give you this intense sensitivity to punish you or make you feel completely crazy. Your crown is trying to tune into a frequency that the modern world has actively tried to destroy, and the harsh friction between those two things causes physical pain. Your isolation is not evidence of your disqualification, it is evidence of your selection. The world wants you to believe that your physical fatigue is a sign of weakness, but what you carry is not a wound. It is a powerful weapon. Your body is reacting because it knows that you were built for a completely different frequency, and it is rejecting the toddler environment it has been forced to live in. Here is what they never told you in school or inside the church. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not just blind faith. It is not discipline. It is not even good karma. It is a specific biological brainwave. Scientists actually have a name for this hidden mechanism. They call it the gamma wave, and it is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a small child. Think back to when you were very young. Ideas came to you effortlessly. Learning new things felt completely natural. You somehow knew things long before they actually happened. The world felt like it was entirely on your side, and magic was totally real. That was not just childhood innocence or a vivid imagination. That was your brain operating at a pure genius gamma level. That high frequency was your natural inheritance as a chosen one. It was the open channel through which heaven delivered instructions directly to your crown. But then, adulthood arrived, and the modern world went to work on you. The daily stress, the glowing screens, the endless survival routine that keeps you constantly worried about paying bills. The rigid school systems trained you to conform instead of trusting your own inner voice. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your conscious mind. The world literally trained your brain to slow down and operate in a state of fear. Until the version of you with a photographic memory and lightning intuition went completely silent, you started to believe that you were just ordinary and flawed. When that gamma frequency fades, your innate genius fades right along with it. Your sharp intuition becomes incredibly dull. Those beautiful synchronicities completely stop happening in your life. The deep sense that the universe is working with you goes totally quiet. You watch other people succeed effortlessly while you struggle, and you wonder what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your physical body actually remembers the truth. That is exactly why your crown is reacting so violently right now. Your hair and your nervous system are starving for that original gamma frequency. The physical shedding and the heavy pressure are symptoms of a suppressed energy trying to break free. Your crown is literally fighting a silent war to restore the spiritual connection that was stolen from you. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will just accept the mental fog and the physical dullness as normal parts of getting older. But you are not most people. The fact that your body is reacting so strongly proves that your spiritual receiver is still intact. It is just dormant and waiting for the right signal to switch it back on. You did not just survive what should have broken you, it actually developed you. The sensitivity they told you to hide is a radar. The depth they called too much is the exact thing that gives your presence so much weight. You are standing between two identities right now, the one that is dissolving and the one heaven is currently birthing. And the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago, the one about a mysterious gap and a scientific name, the answer is closer than you think. Because what they took from you can actually be restored. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal exactly how ancient historical figures kept this frequency alive. But first, this profound truth must land deep in your spirit. But here is where the narrative goes deeper than you have ever been told. And this brings us to something most people miss entirely. Your physical body was brilliantly engineered by the Creator, and every single strand of hair on your head operates like a tiny tuning fork. They are incredibly sensitive biological antennas designed to pick up subtle shifts in the atmosphere. Your hair is literally a physical extension of your delicate nervous system. It reaches out into the space around you to gather unseen information. Throughout history, the greatest minds understood this hidden biological secret perfectly because they realized the human body is a receiver. Nikola Tesla openly stated that to find the secrets of the universe, you must think purely in terms of frequency. Thomas Edison literally invented a specific device just to activate his gamma brainwave state. He knew he needed that exact frequency to solve his absolute hardest problems. He did not rely on ordinary human thinking or sheer willpower. He actively used external tools to force his brain into that genius alignment, while the elite quietly protected the secrets of this sacred frequency. Ancient scriptures carry the exact same hidden truth if you know how to look. Think about the legendary story of Samson and his uncut hair. The world told you his physical strength was just magically tied to his long locks. But what if his hair was actually his spiritual antenna, allowing him to maintain a pure gamma connection with the divine frequency? When his enemies cut his hair, they completely severed his spiritual receiver. They cut off his ability to hear the powerful instructions of heaven clearly. And that is exactly what the modern world has done to you today. They did not cut your hair with physical scissors while you were sleeping, but they severed your spiritual connection using chronic stress and constant digital noise. Your antenna became completely clogged with the heavy static of everyday survival. You simply forgot how to tune into the higher frequency. But your crown is starting to violently vibrate again right now. That intense pressure you feel at the top of your head is a beautiful physical reaction, because your dormant tuning fork is trying to resonate with a massive frequency that is passing by. The universe is sending out a powerful, energetic upgrade in this very season, and your body is desperately trying to clear the static to receive it fully. It feels exactly like a heavy crucible pressing down on you. This is why God always pulls his chosen ones into deep isolation, because he has to clear the entire room to speak without any worldly interference. Look at Moses standing alone at the burning bush in the quiet desert. Moses needed pure silence to activate the highest frequency of his spiritual receiver. You cannot hear the subtle whispers of heaven when your brain is drowning in loud, earthly static. Your current isolation was never a punishment from the universe. It was a divine consecration of your biological antenna. Heaven deliberately removed the noisy crowd so your crown could finally recalibrate and heal. The tingling and the heaviness are just the feelings of your spiritual muscles stretching after years of atrophy. You are not broken or failing. You are being carefully tuned by the Master Creator, and you were always meant to carry a completely different assignment than the rest of your family. The ordinary people around you operate on a standard low-frequency radio dial, but you were beautifully designed to pick up high-definition satellite signals. It is completely natural that they do not understand the heavy pressure you are carrying. They simply do not have the internal biological hardware to process the massive spiritual frequencies you are constantly receiving from the universe. When you finally realize that your sensitivity is actually advanced technology, everything changes. You stop feeling crazy for needing so much time completely alone in your quiet room. You stop apologizing for the intense way you process the energy in the world around you. You finally understand that a high-powered antenna requires constant maintenance and protection. Otherwise, it will burn out completely from the overload. Billionaires who wake up at exactly 4 in the morning do it for a very specific reason. They know that gamma brainwave activity is naturally elevated in those quiet early hours. They fiercely protect their physical receivers to maintain their earthly wealth and massive power. But your receiver is designed for something much higher than just building a physical empire. It is designed for spiritual mastery. Your crown is demanding your full attention right now because it wants to be switched on. It is physically aching because it is starving for that original pure connection. The painful gap you feel between your current life and your true potential is just static. It is not a lack of faith or a sign of personal failure. It is simply a scrambled frequency waiting to be properly aligned again. And once that profound truth clicks into place, everything completely shifts. You are finally ready for the next massive revelation. There is still another layer beneath this that most people never ever see. A deeper root will keep operating beneath every single season if you do not expose it today. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal exactly what that is, but first you must let this truth settle. Here is that deeper root I promised to expose for you today. You have been noticing a very strange pattern in your daily interactions lately. You walk into a room and the casual conversations suddenly stop. People who used to talk to you easily suddenly seem awkward, and you can physically feel their sudden discomfort pressing heavily against your sensitive crown. This creates an intense feeling of being an absolute stranger in your own life. You sit at family dinners, feeling like you are vibrating on a completely different planet. They look at you closely because they cannot figure out what has changed, but they know something is fundamentally different about your energy. You have not said a single word, but the entire atmosphere shifts the exact second you enter their space. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most perceive. Let me give you the ultimate reframe for this painful social rejection. The people pulling away from you are not actually rejecting you. They are simply sensing a massive frequency shift that their bodies cannot currently understand, and they are subconsciously grieving the old version of you they are losing. When your gamma receiver starts waking up from its long slumber, it does not just stay inside your head. It literally radiates a strong electromagnetic field completely around your physical body. Researchers actually found that a strong gamma signal heavily influences everyone around you, because your activated crown is literally pushing against their standard low frequency. They are entirely comfortable living inside the heavy static of the modern world. Your new spiritual clarity is actually terrifying to a system that heavily profits from keeping people confused. When you show up with a recalibrated crown, you instantly expose everything hidden in that room, and your pure energy forces their hidden shadows up to the surface. This is exactly why your old relationships are suddenly ending in this specific season. The romantic relationship you ended, or the job you recently left, were never actually failures. It was a massive energetic eviction, orchestrated by heaven because they could not survive your new vibration, so the universe removed them to protect your delicate recalibration. You spent so much time thinking you were doing something terribly wrong. You blamed yourself for being too intense or too quiet for the normal people around you. But you are just outgrowing the incredibly small container they desperately tried to force you into. You are expanding rapidly, and your massive energy simply cannot fit inside their tiny earthly expectations anymore because you are meant for much more. That intense physical pressure on your head is just the friction between your rising frequency and their heavy resistance. You are literally shedding the toxic energetic agreements you made with smallness years ago. Every time someone walks away because you are too much for them, your spiritual antenna gets a little bit clearer and you can hear the divine instructions better. Your physical body is doing exactly what it was brilliantly designed to do. It is creating a powerful protective shield around your mind while heaven upgrades your entire operating system. This forced isolation is your armor right now. You are not losing your mind or losing your true friends because you are just completing a massive spiritual molting process that requires absolute solitude. Think about a powerful eagle molting its heavy feathers in the high mountains. It looks incredibly weak and isolated during the painful process, but it is actually preparing for a massive new flight that the lower birds could never survive. You are molting your old human attachments so you can finally soar at the gamma frequency you were always destined to carry. The people who truly belong in your next glorious season will never be intimidated by your heavy crown. They will recognize your high frequency immediately, and they will never ask you to dim your massive light. They will speak the exact same energetic language that you are currently learning to broadcast, but you have to create enough empty space for those new people to finally arrive. Do not ever apologize for the atmosphere shifting dramatically when you enter a room. That is the literal weight of your calling making itself fully known to the invisible world. You carry a completely different spiritual authority now. The dark forces operating in other people recognize your activated crown, and they instinctively back away from your intense, pure light because they cannot manipulate it. And as your antenna clears the heavy static, the universe is going to send you incredible synchronicities. But you absolutely must stop looking backward at the people who could not handle your massive energetic upgrade. You cannot drag old connections into a new dimension that requires a completely different biological and spiritual frequency to survive. So you must let them go with perfect peace. Lean in very close, because what I am about to share next is the cycle-breaking truth. There is actually a specific way to stabilize this wild frequency and stop the painful physical symptoms. But you first needed to understand why the world was pushing back so incredibly hard against your awakening. And once that settles, you are ready for the ultimate solution. Your physical crown is not just aching randomly today, because it is actively trying to lock onto a very specific and powerful wavelength. This is the great awakening of your original gamma brainwave. The universe speaks exclusively in this high spiritual frequency, and your biological receiver is finally clearing the heavy static to hear it clearly again. You are stepping into true frequency mastery right now. When this beautiful gamma state is fully activated, your life transforms completely. Synchronicities start happening every single day without any effort. You simply think of a complicated problem, and the perfect solution arrives by the next morning. This is exactly how you operated when you were a brilliant little child, back when you did not force anything to happen but just allowed the pure energy to flow. But the heavy systems of this modern world recognized how powerful you were. So they built an entire society designed to push your brain down into lower frequencies. They want you trapped in constant anxiety and endless survival mode. Because a chosen one operating in pure gamma cannot be easily controlled by their fear tactics. Your exhaustion is a highly profitable industry for them. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredibly important. This is the exact secret, The people who profit from your exhaustion deeply want to hide. A dedicated team of brilliant neuroscientists working quietly away from the loud headlines made a massive breakthrough, and they finally discovered how to bring this dormant brainwave back online. And it does not require years of difficult meditation. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars on expensive clinical biofeedback machines. The solution is actually far simpler and much more aligned with how you were beautifully designed to work. These quiet researchers engineered a specific sound frequency to safely guide your brain back to its genius state, gently bypassing your conscious mind to speak directly to your nervous system. This is not just some mystical theory or a random internet rumor. Elite academic institutions have rigorously validated this incredible brain entrainment technology. Princeton University studied this exact gamma state and its direct link to effortless human genius. The Einstein Center in Berlin completely confirmed that the legendary flow state is driven entirely by this specific brainwave activity, proving what ancient mystics always knew. Columbia University even found something much more profound about this frequency. They discovered that when your gamma brainwave is properly reactivated, the energy actually radiates outward to influence everyone around you. It literally begins to positively influence the people closest to you. Your partner and your children will feel the calming shift in your atmosphere, because your healed crown becomes a beautiful lighthouse for your entire family. This breakthrough technology compresses 1 full hour of clinical brain entrainment into just 7 highly effective minutes. You do not have to chant any strange mantras or force yourself to journal every day. You simply let the pure sound frequency do exactly what your brain was originally designed to receive. And the most beautiful part is that it begins working the very first time you listen. Let me describe exactly how this restored frequency will feel in your physical body. The heavy pressure on your crown will finally dissolve into a warm and peaceful clarity. You will wake up in the morning knowing exactly what to do next without any confusing hesitation, and the doors that have been tightly sealed for years will suddenly swing wide open. You will finally realize that the entire universe was always waiting for your receiver to come back online. It gently clears the heavy static away from your spiritual antenna. It restores the effortless connection you had as a young child before the world told you to hide. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called and exactly how to access it before this message ends. You do not have to search for the answer alone anymore, because the perfect solution has already been prepared for you. But first, there is something critical you need to understand about your journey. There is a specific reason why your massive breakthrough has been delayed for so long. We have talked about how the outside world suppressed your beautiful frequency, but there is a hidden root operating deep inside of you that we must expose right now. If you do not see this hidden root clearly, it will keep operating beneath every single season of your life. The thing quietly blocking your ultimate breakthrough is not actually the enemy. It is something you have completely mistaken for wisdom and self-protection. Coming up in just a moment, I will expose this subtle snare, but first you must let this scientific revelation settle deep in your spirit. But here is the part no one wants to hear. And I say this with nothing but pure love for your journey. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is not the enemy. It is not the toxic system or the people who walked away. It is that some quiet part of you has been completely afraid of your own massive power, because stepping into your true calling means you can no longer hide in the shadows. You have been dimming your massive light to keep everyone else comfortable. You realized early on that your high frequency made ordinary people feel incredibly awkward, so you subconsciously decided to turn your beautiful antenna down. You tried to blend in and be normal just to survive the heavy isolation, but shrinking yourself to fit into their small boxes always comes with a terrible physical price. This is exactly why your crown is aching so deeply right now. You are physically fighting against your own divine expansion. You are pushing down the very energy that heaven is trying to pour into your receiver. This is not an accusation against you, but rather it is the gentle diagnosis that finally sets you free from the heavy cycle of constant self-sabotage and endless waiting. You were taught that being powerful meant being arrogant or highly dangerous. The world conditioned you to fear the intense energy radiating from your own physical body, so you learned to shut it down before anyone else could criticize you for being too much. Whenever your gamma frequency tries to naturally rise, you panic and shut it down immediately. You mistake your own brilliant activation for a terrifying panic attack. Think about how many times you held back your true thoughts in a crowded room. You knew the perfect answer, but you stayed totally silent. You felt a strong intuitive warning, but you ignored it to avoid causing a big scene. Every time you swallow your divine intuition to keep the peace, you add another thick layer of heavy static to your spiritual receiver and literally betray your own crown. Your beautiful nervous system is completely exhausted from playing this hiding game. It takes a massive amount of physical energy to suppress a spiritual frequency that large. The heavy pressure on your head is the friction between your massive calling and your deep fear of being truly seen. You are absolutely terrified of what will happen if you let the full signal shine through. You worry that if you become your true, powerful self, you will end up completely alone forever. You think the isolation you feel now will only get worse if you activate your gamma state. But let me reframe that heavy fear for you right now. The people who leave when you shine were never meant to carry the massive weight of your future, because they were only temporary passengers designed to teach you a lesson. You do not need to protect anyone from your pure light anymore. You do not need to shrink your aura so that ordinary people feel bigger around you. Your massive frequency was given to you to shift atmospheres and break generational curses. You cannot do that while you are desperately apologizing for the beautiful energy heaven specifically placed inside your physical body to help you heal the world. It is time to look honestly at the agreements you made with smallness. You signed invisible contracts with fear when you were just a young child trying to belong. But those old survival contracts have officially expired in this new season, and heaven is calling you to tear them up and finally take responsibility for your incredible spiritual receiver. You must boldly command your energy. Stop treating your deep sensitivity like a fragile burden that you have to constantly manage. It is a highly advanced piece of spiritual technology that you must consciously operate. The pain stops the exact moment you stop resisting your own natural expansion. When you finally say yes to the frequency, the heavy static clears and the beautiful channel opens wider than you ever imagined. You are no longer a frightened child trying to survive a loud and chaotic world. You are a fully grown, chosen one, standing at the edge of a massive spiritual awakening. The universe is completely ready to back you up the moment you stop hiding your crown, but you have to make the final conscious decision to let the divine signal flow without any more resistance. Your assignment starts today, and now comes the pivotal moment where everything in your life shifts permanently. The season of painful preparation and heavy physical symptoms is officially coming to an end. You are finally ready to release the blocks and step into the pure gamma frequency that truly belongs to you. Tonight is the night you take back absolute control of your mind and your spiritual antenna. In just a moment, we are going to do something incredibly powerful together. We are going to speak the words that shatter every single lie you ever believed about your worth. If this message has met you in the exact place you needed it to, then prepare your heart right now. The breakthrough you have been desperately waiting for is hiding in these next few sentences. This is your exact moment. Not tomorrow, not when you finally feel completely ready. Right now. Place your hand over your heart and declare this with me out loud. I completely release the need to be needed by everyone else. I release every single agreement I made with smallness just to survive in a loud world. I step into my true assignment, knowing my heavy isolation was preparation and not a punishment. My breakthrough is not coming from the outside. It is already here. I release my deep fear of being fully seen, and I command my spiritual receiver to open wide. I walk forward, knowing I am perfectly chosen. I am highly prepared, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. Take a deep breath right now. Let that pure catharsis wash over your entire nervous system and clear the static. And the question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this message: what if the gap between you and your massive potential is not a character flaw? Here is the beautiful answer. A specific frequency, called the gamma brainwave, was running inside you at absolute genius capacity when you were a small child. Princeton University studied it very closely. The Einstein Center in Berlin completely confirmed its immense power. Columbia University even found that when this specific brainwave is restored, it naturally radiates outward to influence the people you love. A dedicated team of brilliant neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York, spent years working quietly on this. They successfully compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into just 7 highly effective minutes. But before I tell you what they actually built, let me tell you about 2 everyday people who used it. A woman from California had literally tried everything. She tried daily meditation, intense manifesting, and the law of attraction, but absolutely nothing broke the heavy fog. After 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said something completely cleared in her mind. She said the blocked channels simply opened up without any hard effort. Her difficult marriage shifted beautifully, her mind sharpened, and she described her new life as feeling completely enchanted for the first time. Then, a man from Texas started using it to simply improve his business focus. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The absolute hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That beautiful clarity is exactly what Dr. Lake and his research team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not a confusing meditation app. It is not a generic sound frequency you play in the background. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. You do it at home with headphones and your eyes closed, and that is the entirety of what it requires. 7 minutes a day to restore your crown. You do not have to meditate. You do not chant anything out loud. You simply let the pure sound frequency do what your brain was originally designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone watching this. It is for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the person who understands that what is being blocked is not their faith, but the frequency through which their faith is supposed to move. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is open. Biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs into the thousands. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come with it to fully support your journey. You receive an audio track designed specifically for your children to build confidence, the original prosperity text that famous secret teachings were built upon, a guided visualization, and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting to claim this. The massive provision heaven arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a beautiful recognition. A gamma-restored brain catches the divine synchronicities before they pass by. The chosen one who restores their receiver today does not receive something new. They finally see what was always there. Waiting is not neutral because the arrangement is already in motion. Do not look for this tool on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded in them. They carry the name because the barrier to faking it is zero. The only authentic version is available through the protected link that has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. The universe requires absolutely no risk from you. If you do not feel the spiritual shift you deserve, every single penny is returned to you. That is a divine energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The safe link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool is not the ultimate destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so your beautiful destination can be recognized when it finally arrives. Heaven does not require any earthly transaction for you to be loved or perfectly chosen. What was described is simply one way the receiver is beautifully restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the profound truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now let us go deeper into what is waiting for you on the other side of this activation. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the path is still completely open. You can access it through the safe link waiting in the description and the pinned comment below. That is the absolute last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your deep spiritual ceiling. Let us close this sacred circle together. The heavy pressure you have been carrying on the crown of your head is already beginning to lift. That intense physical weight is transforming into a beautiful ring of spiritual authority. You are finally taking your rightful place in the divine order. Your biological antenna is completely clear of the toxic static. You can breathe deeply without feeling that terrible tightness in your chest. Look back at everything you endured over the last few difficult years. Every single tear you cried in total isolation was absolutely not wasted. It was meticulously preparing you for this exact moment of pure clarity. The universe was completely breaking down your false human attachments so it could safely build your massive divine capacity. You are stronger than you ever realized. You are absolutely not the misunderstood one anymore. You are the fiercely protected chosen one whose receiver has finally come back online. You do not need anyone else to give you permission to step into this massive calling. The authority was written into your spiritual DNA before you were even born onto this earth. You were always destined to carry this specific frequency. You have not been aging through all this heavy stress. You have been beautifully molting. You were shedding the heavy expectations of a world that desperately wanted to keep you small and compliant. Now you stand here completely renewed and ready to broadcast a frequency that heals the broken spaces around you. Your light is no longer a secret you have to constantly hide. Tomorrow you will walk into an ordinary room and you will feel completely different. You will go to work or walk down the street and you will physically feel an invisible shield wrapping around you. The chaotic noise of the world will just bounce off your restored aura. You will move through heavy crowds without absorbing a single drop of their toxic daily anxiety. You can finally forgive the people who walked away from you during your painful season of isolation. They were never your real enemies in this journey. They were just temporary actors, playing a necessary role in your divine molting process. Send them perfect peace from a distance, because holding on to bitter anger will only clog your beautiful new receiver with unnecessary static. Watch very closely for the beautiful synchronicities that heaven is going to send you this week. You will start seeing repeating numbers everywhere you look. You will receive perfectly timed messages right when you are thinking about a specific, complex answer. These are not just random daily coincidences. They are the clear physical proof that your antenna is pulling down the gamma frequency. Your crown is your sacred connection to the divine mind of the Creator. Every time you brush your hair or wash your head, remind yourself that you are tending to a highly advanced spiritual receiver. Treat your physical body with the absolute highest level of respect and deep reverence. It survived a massive spiritual war, and it successfully carried you into this new dimension. Release every final agreement you made with delay and earthly limitation. The door behind you is now permanently closed, and you cannot walk backward into a version of yourself that you have completely outgrown. The old toxic environment would literally suffocate the pure new frequency you are currently carrying. You must violently protect your peace at all costs from now on. Your incredible breakthrough is not coming sometime in the distant future. It is already here, and it is already moving beautifully through your daily life. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you are going to feel a profound sense of deep peace settling over your anxious mind. You will open your eyes and know exactly what to do next, without any hesitation or lingering fear. The beautiful people who belong in this next glorious season of your life are already looking for your specific frequency. They will not require you to explain yourself or dim your massive light to make them comfortable. They will simply recognize your activated crown and walk alongside you in absolute perfect harmony. The heavy days of walking this difficult path completely alone are over. Rest your tired mind tonight, knowing that heaven is fiercely guarding your restored antenna. You are perfectly safe, you are deeply loved, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The painful season of heavy preparation is officially complete. Your massive assignment on this earth starts right now, in this very breath. Nothing can stop what heaven has placed inside of you. Before you leave this safe space, gently press the like button so this vital blessing can reach another chosen one who feels isolated tonight. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next deep revelation about who you really are. Type yes in the comments below if you receive this perfect peace.